Rose Park to the trading floor of the Merc. He's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Sean Thompson. And this is the Sean Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white,
Yahoo News.
And when the band
Donald Trump slurring his word. Wow, that sounds pretty serious, doesn't it, Squirrel? Donald Trump slurred a word during yesterday's speech. The word was undisputed. And I've listened to the tape, and he did slur it, and then he corrected it with undisputed. And that is all over the news, on iPhones, internet, and all over. Trump slurs words. And I couldn't help but remember.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce her, Shanga Kawawa.
And after that, he needed an immediate diaper change. And that was the best part of that moron's 4 years. And they didn't give a rip. And the reason is $9 trillion was out the window, and $1 trillion of it was stolen. You heard me right. $1 trillion.
Where's this money going? I mean, we know where some of it's going in Minnesota. It went overseas. It went to Somalia. It went to NGO fronts. We know where it's gone in some other states. California gave away billions of dollars to a pro-Hamas NGO. But $1 trillion nationally. Where's this money going to?
I appreciate that question because most people don't ask that question. It goes to terrorism. It goes to child trafficking. It goes to drugs. It goes to terrorism. And then it's used to purchase luxury items, cars.
He said terrorism twice. Maybe has dementia. See, he's not a Democrat. He said terrorism twice. Somebody call for an immediate medical diagnosis. And that's the problem. Not one Democrat, not one, is mad about the money that has been stolen. Find one. I dare you, because I scour it. Not one Democrat senator asked that lying fraud, Keith Ellis, that buffoon, that in on the take, an hour of video of watching him guarantee government protection to Somalian thieves. 1 hour, and not one Democrat senator asked the question.
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth. This is what accountability looks like.
And it got me thinking, Minnesota. What do we really know about Minnesota? This is the beauty of the mafia. This is the beauty of this syndicate calling themselves Democrats. It's compartmentalized. So only the people who are victimized know about it. And as Chicago shows you one thing, you get used to it. Yeah, you start to play ball, you got a guy, and before you know it, if you're lucky, you get one of those video poker games in your business. And maybe it'll offset the loss of the scumbags raping and robbing your customers out of the door. You can live low when you're around Democrats, and in there lies the problem. What we have to do is revisit. How long has Minnesota been mimicking Chicago? How long have this mafia infiltrated a once great state? And I was thinking about that imbecile who was on Saturday Night Live, Al Franken. Am I the only one that remembers the scandal of the Al Franken election?
No, when we a few short years ago were trying to validate the outcome of the Coleman-Franken election, why is it that we have to wait a few days and then find a bundle of ballots in a box in someone's trunk of their car? That certainly has raised suspicion on whether or not we have an effective system of accounting for our ballots in the state of Minnesota.
That was in 2011. And the reason you're listening to that is that was the Republicans in 2011 in Minnesota trying to pass voter laws, voter ID laws, voter signature verification laws. And it lost. It lost in the same way you're hearing these imbeciles. I mean, fracking imbeciles try to pretend that Donald Trump is trying to stop the vote because he asked for your fracking license. The same license you need when you apply for the ghetto lottery known as disability or any other welfare program. You need your license for all of that guts. I wouldn't know, and neither would many decent people. But you need your license for even the SNAPs and the food benefits and God knows what else, which is why in Democrat rat holes, sanctuary cities and states, they give the licenses to illegals. You think it's not connected?
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer...
Any organization that employs Democrats, that has Democrats that run it, that runs data, it doesn't matter because they lie, they cheat, and they steal.
Called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that...
You're kind of an idiom.
That people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID. The reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote, 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters...
The SAVE Act
dumb
isn't
to know
just,
what's good for them? I mean,
it sounds
pretty condescending to me.
She's running cover, just like all the 3 TV sets. And once again, I'm getting updated on Aunt Nancy. If I see this DoorDash son of a dog go to the door one more time, I'm going to have an aneurysm. It's covering the true scandal and the true story. You see, it's not just Minnesota. It's everywhere there's Democrats.
That's not your job. We have a license.
An Ohio daycare is under investigation after inspectors found no children on site. Officials raised immediate concerns, triggering questions about licensing and oversight. This case is now drawing statewide attention.
My favorite part is it's not even Halloween, and she has her ghost costume on. She's got the beekeeper costume, like looking at you through a mailbox, in full drag of the 622 religion.
Only the African people. You see what happens to the media? They harassing us. I'm going to do my life. Don't you going to do, guys?
You've been robbing us, you filthy animal. And there's more.
Now, we found a hotel that had literally every room in it was the headquarters for a nursing group.
Where was that located?
It was in California.
God.
And, so they're all just P.O. boxes. They're not actually doing any nursing care.
No.
Not one Democrat in California, not one, is mad about the money, wants to find out where the money is, wants people put in prison. Not one. And that's the broader point. This is not a political party. It is a mafia. La Cosa Nostra. Only these are ugly people, stupid people. And in some cases, they're people who have been caught over and over and over again. And sometimes even their wives are caught. Just say Jackson Jr., which means this level of scum, the only thing left for him to do is get elected again.
There are 10 candidates on the ballot in the Democratic primary. Tonight, we're focusing on the top tier. We begin our conversation with the biggest name in the race, Jesse Jackson Jr.
The biggest name. This $2 whore, this dimwit moron, already went to jail for stealing, for robbing, and lying. And you know what that makes him in the Democrat Party in Chicago? The front runner. Fracking idiots.
At 60 years old, a one-time rising star in politics who suffered a spectacular fall from grace is trying to mount an all...
Hey, Fluffer. Hey, Fluffer. Don't forget the jewels. Hey, Fluffer. Rub the jewels when you do it. This is a reporter. Report the story of why he went to prison, scumbag.
On July 3rd, Jackson will stand before a judge in Washington in federal court. And his crime, conspiracy to commit mail fraud, wire fraud, and make false statements.
Ooh, he wanted to be a businessman. Went out and bought himself some memorabilia, even a Rolex timepiece. Hey, stupid. I don't care how much money you stole. You're just a $2 whore. And so's your wife.
Under the guidelines, calls for a sentence of 46 to 57 months in prison. Now, the government has said we'd like him to serve 48 months in prison. His lawyers have asked for a lesser sentence, one that would fall below the guidelines. In the case of Sandy Jackson, former Chicago alderman, The guidelines call for...
You remember Sandy Jackson? She couldn't get a dog to come up to her in a park. You had to put Bosco behind her ears to get a dog to come up to her because dogs and kids knew she was a mean witch.
Range of 1 to 2 years in prison, and her lawyers have made a strong case, or tried to make a strong case, I should say, for probation.
So obviously, the defense is using whatever arguments it can get.
Now listen to his defense, and none of that matters now, right? The Chicago simpleton who wants something for nothing. The Chicago roach who wants the protection of government when they sell dope on the corner. The Chicago illegal alien, rapist, carjacker, whatever, wants the protection of this lowlife thief, and they don't care what he did.
Try to appeal to the judge, and the judge makes the final decision on this. So they brought up, for example, his mental illness. What have they said about that?
That's right. His lawyers say that former Congressman Jackson has severe depression and bipolar disorder.
Severe depression and bipolar disorder? Well, none of that came up today with the fluffer posing as a reporter.
All-time comeback.
Well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office in which you're about to enter, so help you God. I do.
Decades ago, Jesse Jackson Jr.'s potential seemed unlimited. With charisma in his blood, Jackson represented it.
The father was a gangster, used to run numbers, didn't like paying taxes, needed a front to go legit, and he became the Reverend of Perpetual Tax Evasion, Rainbow Push It Coalition.
Illinois' 2nd Congressional District for 17 years.
Just to the people of Chicago.
Before he was sent to prison for misusing campaign money. Today, the son of the civil rights legend...
Whoa. Misusing campaign money? Well, that sounds like he bought a dog a collar. And he was just going to take the dog to the park. He just misused the campaign. He stole the money. It was set up to be stolen. Wire fraud. And he cut his dingbat wife in it. At the time, an older woman, one of the 50 thieves in Chirac.
What's his old seat back?
I'm running for Congress, and I'm asking for your support.
We say in Chicago, we don't want nobody sent. Right. But this is a whole nother level.
Right.
Why are you doing this?
To inspire people, to motivate people.
Inspire who? Criminals, thieves, and scumbags? To let them know with a wink and a nod, another crook, another convict has your back.
To give them a reason to hope again, to believe again.
Oh, he's the hope and change. You got to do the hope and change. Here's what you could hope for. You could hope that Chicago devolves not quite as fast as Detroit. After all, they got a new scheme. They're going to bring video poker to the city. That should end up great. A tax on morons who are desperate, who are willing to throw their paycheck in a machine to go on welfare. Then you really need the Jacksons. 312-642-5600.
He's Sean Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Sean Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.